Hello, hello, my dear audience. Christina here, your host today. And like as always, today's new episode of KSM Podcast going to be the song with Christina. And I'm super happy, my dear audience. I'm so excited today to have my very, very special guest speaker, Sara Vezenšek. She is a business strategist, evergreen brand architect, and Sarah is coming from Slovenia. Sarah, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love that introduction, honestly, because in the world of coaches and mentors, I was like, I'm not a typical coach or a mentor. So, how do I make people say, what? Like, what do you do? So, that's the whole point of that intro. But thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me and thank you for express your interest to come to join to my show because you found my podcast online through the network, I mean, internet network. And we didn't know each other. So that's my audience. You can see how you can come to my show. And yeah, it was a little bit time, but yeah, finally we are here today. So that's
Absolutely.
every time is momentum whenever
Mhm.
you make decision to start something. And Sarah, for our audience today, tell us a little. I mentioned that you're from Slovenia, but tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, introduce yourself for audience, for people who are going to listen to you.
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I do come from Slovenia, and I have been a very different person since I was very little. At 13, everybody's like, "Oh, what do you want to be?" And it's like firefighters and vet and a doctor. And I'm like, I'm gonna have my own business. Did I have any recollection of how to build a business? Did I have any proof? Anybody in my family? Like, absolutely not. My parents worked a very traditional job for 40 years. They retired, got their pension, and I just refused to follow the crowd, which meant that my life wasn't as easy because going against the current is not easy, but you learn a lot. And at 13 to 23, like I was very young. I had no one to depend on me. Even if I lost all my money, my parents were there to catch me. So it was the best way to experiment and just go into the world like nothing can happen, even though lots of things happened, right? I always just learned and grew from it. And I think because of the fact that I'm 30 now, I have 17 years of experience for something where people are just starting to get into their careers at 30 and starting to get experience. And because of my lens of how I look and see the world, I can help a beginner entrepreneur or someone who has made millions in a corporation or something that they built, simplify it so they actually have freedom and enjoy their life again, which is the whole point of being your own boss.
Oh, thank you so much. And from your perspective and what you said, where you were a kid, child, and everything. So you have such an amazing and long-term career. Either that you're so young, you're very, very young lady, and have such a amazing experience to help people, as you mentioned, who are start at the beginning or in the middle or in high level of business. And that's so good. And you mentioned about your background, but before we dive into deeper into that, maybe you can share with us about your background when you start that to from where is coming that how to be a business strategist and help those level of uh, business
People.
levels and scale that.
Yeah, for sure. I never really knew about business, right? And then my career, I was always just following money because I thought, okay, so if I have money, I have freedom, right? But I didn't really think that I can be a business owner. I was just chasing jobs. So at 13, I was working in a wine bar. But again, I was learning, I was seeing, what money meant. how much juice do I have to squeeze oranges to get 20 euros out of it? And it gave me a good perspective. Then I was in the office learning about receipts and invoices, and then moved into becoming a yacht chef. And from being a yacht chef at like 18, I then became a yacht manager for like the 0.01% of the world. And guess what? Those people have money, they have companies, they've built massive success, some in aligned way, some in super unaligned way, but they had knowledge that I was like a sponge. So I was sitting at dinner tables with them, asking questions, learning, taking notes what I don't want to do, and seeing these mostly just super successful men be attached to their phone. Wait, let me attached to their phone like this at dinner, nonstop, every email, every and I'm like, well, you could have millions in your bank account, but we're in the most beautiful island in the Caribbean, and you haven't even looked out of the window once. And that's not the success that I want. So when I decided to take the information that I got and build a business that is not traditional, that allows me to have freedom, like how many entrepreneurs do you know that are stress-free? They're not panicking if like they don't have service. They can take time off. It's not a lot of people. They have a very busy schedule. And I didn't want that. And I was like, I'm going to create something that allows me to have massive success and live the life of my dreams.
And
Let's
yeah,
go for
and you
this.
have such amazing experience like no one. Because as you said, okay, I like money. I know that money is a tool to help me to have a freedom to live in, but there is no always have enough. We need to
Yeah.
always to earn in a way. But as you said, this is a way, and today that you share with us that people just phoning, all the time, and they're all the time under the stress. They're stressful. They don't have time for their family, for their kids, and they have radiation of radio electromagnetic radiation or mobile phone or talking on and all the time. So that is not normal for your brain, I mean.
Mm-mm.
And when people come to let's say 40 plus, 50 plus, their body and their mind is not too much healthy, I mean. So
Absolutely. No, yeah, you're right. And the younger generations now, I feel like my generation was still good because we were still playing outside. We were still, I had my first phone when I was 7, but only because me and my sister went on a trip. So we had the flip phone just to call our parents, but you couldn't do anything on that phone besides like play the snake game, right? Which you got tired of after, I don't know, 5, 10 minutes. But the iPhones and all of that came when our brain was pretty much formed already. It was like later on 15, 16, 17. Now kids are walking around attached to their screen since they're, I don't know, they come out of the womb, right? Like that parents just give them that to distract them. And it's so sad because they grow up with that and AI now that just is not helping their brain develop whatsoever. And they can technically go anywhere with the phone. So no one like wants to travel. They don't want to do things because they can like experience it all with this device in their hand, which
yeah,
is
and,
really,
and this is such a big problem because uh, that they can use it for what they need as a tool to learn
yeah,
to. I know with my students also, they all day they scrolling 6 hours, 7 hours, 10 hours, and they have this distraction. They couldn't sleep. They have problem, and they family think that they are just so safe, but not that. This is the other topic which we can
yeah,
speak next time, or this is
yeah,
very dangerous for some that when they think that their kids at home and they don't know what they scroll, what they are watching, because and their parents and family, they earn a lot to earn money for their kids to grow, to help them to grow and everything. But sometimes, and parents and family are not educated. They couldn't follow what they do. And this is
yeah,
something when their brain needs to be outside, to play games, to everywhere. So this is a way how
absolutely.
you can feed your brain and your body and health. This is so important.
Absolutely.
than
Absolutely.
just scrolling something for nothing. I mean,
Yes. Yeah, there's this instant gratification of, the next video and the next video and like how our brain functions with dopamine, which is why it's such an addiction. And you hear your phone buzz and you automatically just like flip it and look at it. And I'll catch myself and I'm like, no, like put my phone away, have like a morning routine. We don't touch the device, but like it's hard. And I love my life. Like I'm obsessed with it, but it's still hard because it's such a drug they gave us, right? This device for so many things that you can do on it. So I think it's important to know that this thing can make you a ton of money. It can give you freedom, but it can also put you in a prison if you allow it.
yeah, in some way, and also in your personal way, to be all the time
Yeah,
in some to have and yeah, so that's what you said. It's such a good tool, but we need to know how to use it.
absolutely.
And it could be so like technology, like AI, what we are talking now, but that will be so useful in a way that people have education how to do it. Either that every single day something comes up, something
Mm.
new, and we cannot follow, to be honest, but we don't need to use everything because
No, we don't.
we're only human being to the end of the day, and that's that is all, I mean.
True. Absolutely
Okay.
true.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing about it. And that's we can say that is totally problem that people need to be so educated and slightly like a part to part to use it. And it could be very useful, of course. This is a era of technology, but we don't need to be all day. We need to go outside or travel somewhere, or which Sarah did and
True.
has done and still do it. Okay,
That
so
that's why I work. That's what I get my money for, to experience the world and get everything that I ever wanted to see, everything with my own eyes, not on the screen.
yeah, and this is very interesting. And you are today because just to share that to work class, how to work it, and then come to space where you want it to be, travel and be in the nature. So, and
Absolutely.
Sarah, you mentioned that maybe we can just say what, but I think that in some way you answered that what triggered you to start it. Maybe did you have some kind of trigger point to, yeah, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
And in terms of business, I know that you said, okay, everything what I do from my experience, not just to go to university to graduate such a high schools, very, mastering and everything.
Yeah.
And do you
No.
think in that way that people just don't need to be such a good businessman, excellent? They need to have more practice than
Mm.
just to go to university, get diplomas and say, okay, I'm manager
Yeah.
or
No.
consultant.
I don't think anybody needs to go to college, honestly. Like even like, and this might be controversial, but even if you're a doctor, right? If you just went straight into an ER and learned from there as an intern, you wouldn't need 12 years, you would probably need 6 years because you would learn on the spot. You would learn everything in action. You're not sitting at home reading a book on, like I studied food science and nutrition. And for the first 3 years, we were learning what the force is of honey being pushed through warm pipes versus cold pipes. Like when am I ever going to need to calculate that? Like for food science and nutrition, right? And like also, even if I did need to, I could learn that at the job where I'm working in a honey factory. So why am I here sitting, staring at a wall for 15 hours a day? So as soon as I went to college, I was like, this is not for me. I will get a degree. So the system and my parents are gonna let me be. So I've done that. I tick the box. Now let me go do my own thing. But you ask what was the like turning point, and I've seen what I've done for like high network individuals. I'm talking like I used to work for a man who sold his company for like 600 million. And that to me was like unheard of. Like, I mean, for most people, that's an unimaginable amount of money. Even though if we compare him to a billionaire, like he's, you know, us compared to someone who has 800 billion, which is also insane. But anyway, and I was working for this man, and I'm like bettering their life so much with just who I'm being, my resourcefulness, my experience. And I'm like, if I can make their life better and they have all the money in the world and I'm still improving it, and I'm just exchanging my time that I'm investing in for a salary and I'm working 24/7, there is no way that I couldn't do that for people who actually need that and get paid at least my salary while working less. And that was my whole goal to start with. I was like, if I can get my same salary, but while working like 15 hours a week, not 80 or even more, right? I have won and I have my own freedom. So that was the turning point and the disrespect. Because, like, no matter what job you're in, your boss is above you and there's authority and you have to ask permission. It could be your best friend, but if you want to raise, if you want to leave, if you want to go have lunch, you need to ask permission. And I could not stand that. I'm like, I'm an adult. Why do I have to raise my hand? Like, can I go to the bathroom? That just absolutely not. And that was a turning point. And then I started looking into how to start a business the way that I want to start it. Because I was like, I'm not about to go get an office and spend a bunch of money on like marketing and, I don't know, branding and websites. I was like, I need an offer that packages my genius so I can have freedom. And then I need a marketing engine or like some way to get clients. And that was it. So I did the offer. I started promoting it on Instagram because that was my channel that I chose. And I got clients. And I was like, oh, wait, it's that easy? Cool. Let's double down and help more people. And of course, like the actual business is not hard. Who you have to become to put yourself out there, to speak your truth, to promote yourself, to be audacious enough to say, like, my knowledge is worth money. Like, that's the hard part. The actual business strategy, that's easy. Like, anybody can do that. So, when you asked about businesses, I think the best business owners are actually people who have the most life experience. Someone who studied business knows shit about business. Like, absolutely nothing. Because it's never going to be how it was in a classroom. Can't predict the world. So if you're like really good with people, or you're a server, or you're in sales, or you had a crazy job, you are guarantee you gonna be great in business.
Yes, and I agree 100% with you because I was in corporate job. And finally, when I went to the hospital because of stress and everything, and had a problem with hormones and bouncing, and have such a unbelievable headache. In that time, I saw that I said myself, okay, I'm going to be my own boss. And I spoke about it many times, and I wanted to work who I wanted to work, how many hours I wanted to work. And I moved to the freelancer stage 15 years ago when I realized that everything what I can do this, do that. It was big corporation. I was in one some part of it chapter, how I can say it, but that part was closed, and thankful, and I just shifted my uh, business, shifted my job, put in my own place, and start traveling online. It was running team for starting. I'm not web designer and graphic, but as a marketing, I was consultant in that company, and that's how I started mine. But and I have never thinking about that I'm going to have my podcast. But something happens, and
Mhm.
it was momentum to
Exactly. And you
after.
had the bravery to just go for it without knowing if it's gonna work out.
Yes. But as I always say, what is the message for this podcast is try, never give up, try for your business.
Yeah.
Either where you come from corporate sector or whatever, or you are retired and you can move forward. Why not? Because you can work for your own self because you have experience. However, either that we are talking on different stages of ages, but also You can just go and try it because, as I said, you have never know how it's going to be without action or reaction. As you said, you can have you graduate, be doctor, but if you don't uh, have patience, like to take care about them and don't have practice, what how doctor you will be just to
Yeah.
be in theory like that this is no way to do it. So that's, and I agree, I really love what you do and I really like your approach to life and business
Thank
as a
you.
young lady.
Thank you. I do it different, and a lot of people get upset or tell me like, what the hell are you doing, so many times, but I just never quit. And then I want your listeners to hear that when you start something and you're not successful yet on like paper, you don't have like the external success, most people are going to be like talking shit about you. But then you make it and everything you do is great and you had great ideas and I always knew you're going to make it. That's bullshit friendship. So don't let other people talking bad about you bring you down, because you are just breaking to the next level where they're afraid to go. So they're trying to grab and pull you down, and you actually have the guts to do it. So as soon as in the beginning you actually start seeing people like hate on you or like talk badly about you or try to bring you down, that's proof enough that you're on the right path.
Yeah, and this is such a good promotion for you. I mean, in every single person in that way,
Yeah,
but in some way that will be when you mention that and for audience is going to be like an imposter that they just wanted to raise up imposter syndrome in some way if we can connect in some way to say that because I'm not good enough, I cannot do it. But if you have your mindset that you are the best version of you and who do you want to be, who cares what other things, what other people think.
exactly. As long as you're in alignment and you're doing what you love to do and you're not harming anybody, go do whatever the hell you want to do,
And
right?
connect with people
Yeah.
who are with same frequency with you. You need just only
Yeah,
one person. You don't have to have many of them. And who
exactly.
stay on a shoulder. Go away from one of them. You are good. No, no,
Exactly.
just we have to say. Sometimes you can say, "Hey, hey, we need to say that someone say I'm good enough." Blah blah blah. No, you have to say I'm the best. I'm good enough. You
Yeah,
have to say about you. It's normal.
absolutely.
And you know, this is a
Absolutely.
way that you know, and surround yourself with people who you feel that support you, not just like because we need to. We are like as I said, we're like we give energy and attract energy,
Hmm.
and givers and receivers. So and be givers sometimes in a way that you can help other people, but people who deserve that in your life, not just to everyone.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, just leave every room better than it was and show up as your best version, even if, and that's the thing, if you're waiting for a big stage or a big recognition before you start showing up, like if I would have waited before my like Instagram would, I don't know, start converting, like I showed up the best that I could, the best that I knew with like full force when I started. Am I way better now? Absolutely. But back then I wasn't like half-assing it. I was giving it my all, even though now it would look like I'm half-assing it because it's been, 2 years and I just had so much more practice and I will continue to get better. And what I want your listeners to hear is like, you're not going to be successful when. I think that's the loop that I personally put myself into, and so many entrepreneurs put themselves into, is like, I have to do this, this, and this, and this, and then I'm going to get clients. And I'm like, you can get a client yesterday. You don't need all these things. Will you get better at it? Absolutely. But you can get paid right now and then improve and better everything and, grow it along the way.
And when you grow it, you can start investing your better website or whatever. You can start from
Exactly.
scratch just using your brain and your experience.
Yes, you don't need
And as you
anything.
said, things are very simple. As you said,
Yeah.
use one platform, create one web page, create profile on Instagram, whenever, LinkedIn, I don't know where you want it to be, and then start and show up with
Or just
that.
like talk about it in person, go to events, go on podcasts. Like
Word
you
of
don't
mouth,
have to,
whatever.
yeah, you don't even have to do it on Instagram. You can get referrals, you can, build. And I think in the era of AI and like the era of everybody's online, when you build relationships with people, those are the people that are going to stick around. Those are the people that are going to stick in your corner and be with you. Like that, those are your people. And all the businesses, right? Like the opportunities that are going to come through your network are going to be way better than some like random stranger on the internet. So people mostly invest into new people, the cold audience. I'm like, take care of the people you already have. Nurture those. Yes, also target the cold audience so they can nurture it, but that's going to be such a long path versus going to people who are already, in your world cheering you on. Let's get those people in first and then keep them and take care of them. Don't just go off to the next and off to the next.
Yeah, and this is when you are so right for the audience.
Mhm.
Just remember that, my dear audience, because as you mentioned that you lose a lot of energy, a lot of time. But what, as you said, I agree 100% with you. I really like to nurture my connections. And let's
Yeah.
say I connected and I'm in connection with people 10 years who I met online, and still I'm in ways to rebuild my website. And my clients or we've done like a partnership in something. Doesn't mean that that person was my partner client, but we've done some partnership or doing some similar project or something like that, and I don't have to think about testimonial because I said that there are people there, they are in my world.
Hmm.
Many of guest speakers, for example, that's kind of testimonial, how they were in my
Yeah.
podcast, how I host them as a host and uh, to be a part of. There are many of them who were 3 times guest speakers. So Sarah, you will be again. I I have such a I'm so big believer in that because we have a lot, you have a lot to share. Yeah, this is like I like organic, so that people love
Yeah.
that too. Yeah. And what you said, that's pretty good. Just start with people and nurture them. Don't push yourself everywhere and you lose your time.
Absolutely. That's so important. And like people get to hear you, people get to learn from you, and you're not going to be for everybody. And I think that's the hardest part to accept because before you're in people pleasing, you're in like authority, like asking for permission. And now all of a sudden you're the authority and you're like, okay, what do I do now? And it's weird. So you have to, it's a new muscle that you have to test. And that's why it actually takes some time. Because if you could download all those skills that someone spent years getting and experiencing, you could be successful overnight. Like it doesn't have to take a long time. It's going to take as long as it's going to take you to become that person. And the type of mindset you have to have and how, money being low and sales not coming in and you still needing to figure it out and pay your people. And like if you can stay calm through that and just start scanning for solutions, and if you're currently dealing with stress with like ease, you're the perfect person to run a business because there's going to be a million gazillion things you're going to need to figure out, maybe not every day, but every bloody week. Like there's gonna be something that's gonna go wrong. The internet's gonna, like just today, my computer died 7 hours ago. And I was like, well, great. Didn't turn on. And I was like, okay, I have my phone. So worst case, I'm just gonna like go on my phone. I don't have to reschedule. But it was completely calm. I go to the computer repair. They call me in 2 hours. It was fixed. And someone else could have been stressing about the price and the time, and I can't do the work, and they would like stress about it. I was just like, okay, I guess I'm gonna take it chill this week. Like I
Yeah,
don't,
but if you and I know about it. If I cannot do it today, I will do it next time, next day,
yeah,
next week. I can do it something else because I don't waste your
exactly.
time. I have everything on my plate. I have, if
Yeah.
I just sometimes what happened for me because of different time zone, and I like to
Hmm.
negotiate about it. I cannot follow my schedule in terms of
Yeah.
currently. I can put it up, but I don't know what happens. And the best way for me is to negotiate with, and then one day if I see that someone couldn't, I start. and I know, okay, I can do something else because it's on my plate. You cannot you cannot finish everything on your to-do list, to be honest.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's and I don't like to be stressful about it. Maybe I was when I started my podcast to
Yeah.
be shy in front of shy in front of the camera and everything. But also I have you gave me idea to ask you about when you start your Instagram. This is so important. How people come to you, they see your post. How do you connect with them and turn them into paid clients?
Mm.
Maybe that will be your experience for young generation,
Yeah,
to and every person and anyway person audience who will listen to this episode to be useful for them to hear
absolutely.
your experience about it. Because people
I
struggle
would,
with clients, to be honest. I know that from.
yeah, especially right now because everybody can be a content creator, right? You can write posts with AI. So number one, I would tell you is there's a million ways how you can do it. Like actual million ways how you can do it. You can follow Alex Hormozy, you can follow Jamie C, you can follow my strategy. There's billion coaches and each coach has a different strategy, right? But not every strategy is going to work for you. It's not,
That's
right?
so
So
true. That's
it's
so true.
not. And to have some discernment and understanding, what I've been actually doing with my clients is like reading their design, their human design for business, so they have better discernment of how to get clients. Where are they going to come from? Is it from their network? Are they going to be invited? How do they earn money? What type of offers to have? But to answer your question about Instagram, I do it the simple way. Again, a lot of people do live launches and then they like hustle for 6 months and then they do this launch. And then if it doesn't go well, you just spend 6 months promoting something that didn't sell. So instead of doing a big launch, just start talking about who you are, what you do, and how you solve problems, like, and get the reps in. But what I want to say again is Instagram is cold audience, especially if you're starting from scratch. So that's going to take a long time. Except if you have people who've known you for years, which was my case, right? And they just saw my success in other ways. So they were like, okay, I don't know what you're doing, but like I'm kind of curious. So I got a couple of clients right away because they knew me. Again, so what you do on Instagram, use it as your website, but then get genuine connection. Go speak in other people's communities, go on podcasts, connect with people, go on online networking events, go to in-person networking, speak to everybody what you do. Take the phone, record what you do, send it to everybody on the list in your contacts. Because in the beginning, you have to put the word out to everybody. And like, is it awkward? Do you feel like you're repeating yourself like a parrot? That's the point. And if you're not going to promote your business, then like who is? You know what I mean? And people have to hear about it probably like 15 times before they're like, oh. And one last thing I want to say about Instagram is normally short form content. So right now, if you're trying to stand out, there's so many creators that like who's going to really get to know you in 6 seconds or in like 1 to 2 minutes, like not many people. But if you go on a podcast where your aligned audience lives and someone listens to you for 60 minutes talking about your expertise, and you have a link underneath guiding them to your website to book a call, I would say building a network and Instagram just being a channel is way more important. And how I do it is I just ask them to comment a word and then I will figure out what offer is right for them instead of promoting a single offer and then like just getting everybody in there.
Thank you for sharing that. And also, I know that you have your own podcast, is solo podcast, and we have our call before our episode today and show today. So, would you like, please, to share your experience with getting clients? Because you run audio, I mean. So
Yes.
that will be so good for people because I also coach people how to run their own podcast. But what is your experience with clients and running your own podcast? Because
Oh,
people
yeah.
like to hear that is experience that they know how podcast is important, especially
Again,
solo, to talk about their expertise and
yeah,
how
because
they solve problem.
yeah, because when you're doing interviews, it's great to highlight the stories especially when you could provide value. But when you are the interviewer, it's hard for others to see you as someone to invest into. They might be interested, they might cheer you on, they might like it, but they're not necessarily going to like pay you $10,000 to help them or 10,000 euros. So when you are doing solo episodes, it doesn't matter if there's 7 listeners. Who cares? That's 7 people that listen to you and your expertise for an hour or for 20 minutes or for whatever it is. So learning how to do it and getting the reps in and staying consistent. And how you're going to stay consistent with the podcast is by doing it in a simple way. So you don't have to be on a video. Like for me, podcast was meant to be listened to in the beginning. Right now we have videos and studios and all this jazz, which is cool. But for me, if I did it that way, I wouldn't be consistent because I move around. I go to so many different countries. So I take my phone, I have my microphone, I record it as a voice note, and I post. It takes me 30 minutes every week. That's it. Right? So stay consistent and bring value to people. And it doesn't matter how many little listeners you got, like the right type of people will find you as long as you're aligned and you're providing value and you're not holding back. So that would be my advice there. And just start it. Like what it
This is what
costs
I say.
nothing.
Just started.
It costs
Start.
absolutely nothing. It's free. You don't gotta pay nobody. It's again, think about Instagram, LinkedIn, podcast, email. Those are all just channels where clients can find you. And the more channels you're opening, and I'm not saying now you have to be on YouTube and TikTok and aligned channels. For me, it's relationships, it's referrals, it's affiliate agreements, it's a podcast, and it's Instagram, right? That's my, or like guest speaking and stuff like that. Those are my channels. I don't like LinkedIn. I don't like TikTok. I don't like YouTube. So I'm not using them because they're not aligned. But my
Yeah,
podcast are my
this is
channel.
your area, what you want, what you feel. How do
Exactly.
you feel, and how are you are familiar with them? Like how do you feel them? That's normal. And to be honest, I started also solo podcast. In my case, and podcast,
Mhm.
Grand Business Online with Kristina, I started also, I have a solo episode where I'm talking about my digital marketing practice, like what
Mhm.
I do. And also, I have audio on Spotify and Buzzsprout. When I was starting, uh, I was starting audio before, like I started YouTube channel later, and I first
Mhm.
started audio,
Yeah.
and Spotify, and it's gonna be on RSS feed on Apple or like on it's on Buzzsprout, on Podbean, or many. And when you have your as podcaster and by FeedSpot, like it's a top 20, like a 20 best on the web in category by FeedSpot in category of online business. I'm talking about this podcast because I do every Friday. I deliver episode by episode, like and an audio is gonna be like on more than 20 platforms. I don't know, Podchaser. It was. I don't know. When you go there, you will find a lot about guests and podcasts everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy with that. But as a digital marketing strategist and consultant, coach, you can sometimes. Uh, this is something, and we need just like to, and I'm so fan of solo podcasts because this is the way how you can express yourself, and help people to talk about pain points, and how to build presence online and other stuff.
All of
So
that. Yeah.
also for all you who wanted to know more about, you can go on KSM just to talk here about, like it's a promotion about the solo podcast in terms of digital marketing also. And Sarah, yeah, and tell us what's the name of your podcast?
It's called She Thrives because I fully believe that
She Tribes.
I'm always thriving, no matter how up and down my life is. I'm gonna find something good about it and, a silver lining. So, yeah. And I like to highlight, all the stories that kept me thriving and all the lessons and how I got here so people can understand that it's not traditional and nothing was given to me. It's all up here and like in my heart.
And your experience. Your
Yeah.
heart, you're like I'm heart-centered oriented entrepreneur. It's like
Yes.
from heart. That's good. And because of that, I know when people find my podcast, there maybe they see that connection. I mean, just that
Yeah,
they recognize it. How
absolutely.
how I host my guest speakers, or I'm also speaker, and I was a guest on many podcasts, not just. I'm not only host, I'm a speaker as well. Also talk about things which people need to use it or to be useful. Also, yeah. And today I also wanted to tap to to deep dive into something. You have many topics like your area of expertise, but there are two of them which I wanted to cover today. First one is freedom formula, building an evergreen brand that runs without you. And the other one is you CEO era redefining leadership around the freedom you actually want. So I would love to ask you a few questions about it. And this is a part of our discussion today. Interests to be, I always say, like a masterclass that
Yes.
people can hear your voice more and more and to get know who is Sarah today and her
Beautiful.
expertise. So, and in terms of freedom formula and building an evergreen, uh, I would love to hear from you to explain what is it about, how you resonate with that, how you help people with that, and I will go. I have a few questions for you, but that you know
Absolutely.
that this show is organic, so
Yeah. Number one is if you're a CEO and you're providing services that depend on your time, you will never have your freedom. Like truly. So what most entrepreneurs do is you scale this business, but as soon as you step away, things start crumbling. You can't really go on vacation because it all depends on your time. So your clients are still the boss of you. Even though you're the CEO, even though you're making great money, you can't really do much with it because either you're paying a team or, you just can't go anywhere and enjoy it. So that's problem that most CEOs are having. So what we do is we come in, we take their knowledge and explain to them how their knowledge is actually what people are after. So we create a high demand offer, package their genius, and then give the client still a premium experience while they're learning from them without being dependent on the time of them sitting down on calls, without them like delivering like a high, demand service or something like that. So that's step one. And then step two is working on evergreen brand visibility, which is long form content, podcasts, network, trust building, authority, which is what the big brands already have. So it's just creating this bucket where they can earn money and get taken care of by their business without doing more. So then they can fall in love back with their normal business because we're just restructure it slightly. And they don't have to have 15, 16 projects anymore to cover the payroll. They can have nine aligned ones and then still get money and get paid and like have money to enjoy from the other revenue that's coming in that's independent of their time.
and in terms of your business, I think so that you also delegate someone in your team because
Here's the thing, you don't really need a team. I'm a solo entrepreneur, right? Like, because I'm supporting many clients, but they get to learn from me. And I have like 30 plus clients now, and it's just me. I don't need a team member. I have someone that helps me with p pitching me to podcast, but she works 3 hours a week, right? So could I do it? Yes, I just don't want to because it's time consuming, right? And that's the beauty of a simple business because the system and the offer is working for you. Yes, you have to do the work to get it there, but you as a business owner have trust, authority, and the market already. You just don't have a offer, a bucket where you can like use it to earn the money. So they already delegate, they already have team members, but guess what team members do? You have to earn more money to then pay them. And even though you have team members, they still come to you for questions. So you're still the person that they will come to. So if you go away, they're like, well, what do we do now? Right? It's always on you. So what we do, we flip it. So that's no longer the case.
that's great. So it's very interesting business. strategy. I mean, business system, what
Yeah,
you do.
the
And this is
exact
from your
opposite.
expertise. You created that from your, as you said, from your heart and from your head.
Yeah, it's just seeing the gaps where what I wanted to do because I have so many mentors and successful women that I looked up to. But then as I was growing up, I'm like, but you guys don't have, like, I have the life that I want. I'm just currently getting paid from a job. So all I have to do is keep the life that I have and get paid doing whatever I'm doing. And I did exactly that. And most businesses don't think about the life they want to live. They think about, oh, I'm going to build a business that's going to pay me. But then from that structure, it's really hard to then get freedom if your structure is set for no freedom and a set schedule. So I first ask them, what do you want? And then from there, we will reverse engineer it so it looks like that it gives you exactly what you want. Because then it's a no-brainer. Because we're going backwards, not like from something making like it's like a square peg into a round hole or whatever they say it. Like it just won't fit because you're trying to scale from something that can't scale.
Oh, that's yeah. And I have, in terms of freedom formula, what does business that runs without you actually look like in practice? Maybe you
Mm,
answered still, but maybe you can.
absolutely. I can just explain how mine looks like, right? I have a marketing strategy that I figured out that works for me, my design, who I am, and my clients. Takes me probably an hour a week to do my marketing, maybe two if I'm like really going fancy, a week, right? Not a day, a week. I have a 15-hour work week when I'm like deep diving into it with my clients, but I have an offer where one part of it is super scalable, which means that it's not dependent on my time at all, which would mean that it's, let's say, 500 a month. I can have hundreds of people in there because they all just come to group coaching, which is one-on-one support still, like high touch, high experience. People still get amazing results, but I can scale that part. And then I have the same offer, the same structure, the same community, but high level partnership. And this part is not as scalable, but I still can support 20 plus clients because some of them get me a little bit one-on-one, some of them get me more one-on-one, and it's still certain calls. It's not a call every day. So again, it depends how you want to structure it. This one works for me because I travel, I'm in different time zones, and it's always thinking from how will the clients get a result and is that scalable and does it fit into the vision of how I want my life to look like? And the most important with the scalable business that gives you freedom is that it fits your business model. I will never teach you my business model. I will teach you the principles of freedom-based business, but your business is going to look completely different than mine, except if you want to build mine. And that's it.
Yeah, and that means that you mentioned you like to travel. You can run your business from anywhere in the world, online,
Exactly.
of course.
I need this device and I need my computer and I need Wi-Fi and that's it. So my
Yeah,
business fits in a shoulder bag.
yeah, that's great. And I was in my career here as a podcaster. I met one lady. She's from Europe, but she used to live in Australia somewhere, and she and her husband, they were traveling. It was maybe 10 years ago, eight, I'm not sure. Every month they were to the other country
Hmm.
and they work online. So
Exactly.
that's
And
great.
you know, back in the days that was hard, but now with our generation, like there's no excuses. If
Yeah.
you want it, you can build it and you're your own obstacles. And like if that's hard to hear, then you know, I might not be the coach for you, but it's on you to make it happen. And you're the only person standing in your own way, and that's it.
Yeah. And what turns a personal brand into evergreen, self-sustaining brand?
Definitely not social media, right? Because if you think about it, even as an influencer, once you stop posting, the brand deals go away, the followers go away, the engagement goes down, like all of that. So building an evergreen brand means creating network that will support you, relationships, referrals, affiliate agreements, long form content that's going to work for you past a week that you posted a reel, which is podcast interviews, magazine articles, AI searchability, like all these things that most entrepreneurs aren't really doing, writing a blog, starting a Substack, being a guest speaker in communities, going to networking events, all of that will give you clients long term, even when you are not like sitting down. Just yesterday, a podcast interview came out and I got like 30 leads without doing anything. I was sleeping, right? And this will continue to bring in leads for years to come because that episode will continue to develop and
And
develop and
you're
develop.
authentic. This is your authenticity. So no one can do it like you do it. This
Exactly.
is you.
Yeah. And I'm not talking to an audience on Instagram that I have no idea who I'm talking to. I pitch to exact podcast, exact publications that I know that my ideal clients are reading. So I know that conversion from that's going to be way better than some algorithm that's just going to decide where and if to push my content out
And
there.
you have also metrics, how you measure who is your ideal client, your factors like a pair, like
Yeah, but not so much because like for me, it's not like you need to make this much money, you need to do this. Like I have people who've never run a business and I have multi-million dollar companies.
it's very interesting.
It's
Sometimes there are people
mindset.
who say six figure, seven figure, but that's so interesting. And I also, in terms of podcasting, like to start a podcast, I can start with someone who is at the beginning of the business or middle or high level, like
Yeah.
this.
It's it it's the type of person. It's because like I know me, I invested 50,000 pounds, not dollars, not euros, pounds, which I don't even want to know how much it is, when my business was in the negative. So like it's not a money thing, it's a mindset thing, right? So I'm not targeting people who are making millions. Is that easier? Absolutely. Because people who made millions, the results are gonna come like this than someone who never started a business. But if someone wants to learn, that's why I have levels to my offer. So those people can afford, like if you're a business owner and you can't afford 500 a month, then like you're probably never gonna succeed in business. So you know what I mean? Like it's an amount where it's a no-brainer investment for people and you can absolutely make it work. It's not like some crazy amount that you need to get 5K a month to just join and learn. And then once you get to the level, then you can invest more and do X, Y, and Z. But I have levels where anybody who is willing can join and figure it out.
And when you mentioned that as evergreen, and I wanted to, that will be what I want to say now is like a funny stuff. Just imagine that you don't have internet 3 days or electricity. You can send a letter to your client, write it down.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah,
way that you not don't be present and be influencer, as you mentioned. If you don't post 3 days, as you said, people you will lose your followers. But it doesn't mean that people have. It was one lady. She said I was live, and she said it was 50,000 people listening to me. But
mhm.
after that, no one buy for me. So that's
Yeah, I mean, that's also a skill of selling, right? Like that's a skill. Because if you have 50,000 people listening, it's either they don't trust you, they're misaligned, or you have no authority. Or they don't even understand what it is that you do, or you're lacking sales skills. So there can be so much because there's so many accounts that have massive following that they built it from 2022 to 2023, let's say, where it was easy. And now they don't know how to make sales because they are just posting a 3-second reel about this is my purse. And they're like, why is no one buying? Because people have discernment. People don't want to invest in some like fake influencer anymore and sponsor their lifestyle, basically.
yeah. But the main thing is that you're a human being and that you do that from your heart and that people can feel you in front of camera as well, just either that you're not in person, like just do
Absolutely.
uh handshaking. My next question for you is what is the first step to stop being the center of your own business?
You need leverage. That's it. When you have leverage, which means that you package your knowledge, that you sell your knowledge versus your time, that means that you don't need to be the center of the business anymore. While people are paying you for your time, you're an employee. When people start paying you for your knowledge, which is a hard switch for entrepreneurs because they think that people are not going to pay premium price for your knowledge. I'm like, how many years did you invest? How much money, how much experience do you have? You know how much people would pay to save 10 years? Like a ton of money. So it's that mental switch. So as soon as you have leverage, you're good to go.
Thank you for sharing. Very, very interesting. And our second topic today, is CEO era, redefining leadership around the freedom you actually want.
Hmm.
And I have a few questions for you. The first one, what does stepping into your CEO era really mean beyond just having a title?
It's like, what title do you want it to be, right? Because like when we say CEO, you think blazer, high heels, office, boardrooms, meetings, like that's
Amazing
traditional.
banners
Yeah, like
everywhere, your
beautiful hair,
face.
makeup done. You don't think I just went surfing, I'm sipping on a coconut. I have a scratch on my body because I just hit a reef, but I also just got wired 5K. Like that's that you wouldn't say that that's a CEO, but that's the type of CEO that I want it to be. That's the type of people I'm calling in because if I have to wear heels, sit in a meeting and have like 400 people below me, I will lose my mind. If I can take a call from a tropical country, so what I do with my clients is I ask them to give themselves like a name as a CEO. So I'm a jet setting CEO. You can be a unicorn CEO, a yogi CEO, a lazy CEO. Like it doesn't matter what you want to be, but like realizing that that's just a title and you want to give yourself a title for the type of life that you want to live.
Thank you for sharing that. Very, very interesting and very educational from your practice.
Yeah.
Next question for you, Sarah, is how can leaders redesign their role, their role around the freedom they actually want, not just more responsibility?
That this is where we kind of touched based on it before, right? To first understand what freedom means to you. Because freedom to me means something completely different to someone listening. Freedom, maybe to someone listening, means that they want $5,000 a month and they are happy. They will have everything they ever wanted. They can do everything that they want. $5,000 a month for me does not mean freedom, right? Because I know what 100K or 200K or a million a month can do and how much more influence and impact will that allow me to have and how many people I can touch. That doesn't mean that without money you can't impact people, absolutely not. But I just know that we live in a capitalist society. And I also know that money gives you freedom. So if I teach people, 10,000 people, how to make a ton of money, whatever ton of money is for them, like I give them freedom in turn, right? Give them options, give them security, especially to women. So it's really realizing like, what does freedom mean to you? And again, then reverse engineering the business, the plan, the blueprint, step by step of how to get here.
And when you mentioned that, how clients feel, I know that you mentioned that you wanted to have a client a long-term journey, but how do they feel before they come to you and when they start working with you? Can you see that transformation in
Yeah,
terms of what you coach them and teach them and um, run them through the process?
they before they know they can do so much more, but they're scared. They are very limited in their thinking. They're like this, covering their eyes and, stuck in their world and doing everything and doing so much and hustling and working really hard. And then they talk to me and they feel ease. And they don't really believe me at first because who would believe that it can be simpler and easier and all of that, right? Like it sounds like
As
a
you,
joke.
like you young lady,
Yeah.
always
It's not
talk
even
to
that because I have
experience.
an old soul. It's just like they don't believe that it can be easy because we've been programmed since we were little that we have to work hard for money. So that's the belief that you then reconfirm your whole life. Because up until now, you worked really, really hard and then you got a reward. And then you worked really, really hard and then you got a reward. So you're proving to yourself that that's true. But you could have not worked hard in between and still gotten that reward. But you just don't look at it like that, right? Because you think I need to do all these things and you have this chip on your shoulder. So people normally feel stressed, overwhelmed, overworked, ready to quit or like fell out of love of their business. And then once they work with me, they feel at ease, they feel alignment, they feel fired up, they feel excited, and they fall back in love with their life or their business.
And they can also come to you on they can come to you. Do you have some kind of free strategy session for them? For people
I
just
offer a
how people
30
can
minute,
find you. Also, I will put all links
yeah.
below this
So
episode, but what is the
whoever's
best way to
interested,
find you? Audience, I mean.
yeah, so whoever's interested can come and slide into my DMs. I'm always active there. So that's my channel that people find me normally or podcast. And you can jump in and download some of my free trainings. But yes, for any business owner that feels overwhelmed, that doesn't know what to do, I offer a complimentary 30-minute business audit where I show you for your business how we can restructure it, what to do, what the next steps are to your next level, and how to get there like free of charge. Now, if you will then do it and be guided there, people are absolutely like they're picking their jaws off the floor because they're like, what the hell? Like, how is this even possible? Right. And I think it's my duty to do it because I didn't have that. And I invested so much money into unaligned coaches and stuff because I had to learn. And I had the money, thank God, right? So if I lost 50K, it wasn't too bad. But someone who is just beginning and wants to invest a big amount of money, I'd rather give them the plan and show them how it can actually look like, and then they can try on their own or go with me or go to somewhere else. But at least they had the clarity and those steps.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It's very interesting. And yeah, and when you and I want also to ask you, what do you help people, entrepreneurs for different industry, or you have specific niche who it doesn't matter?
I have furniture designers, energy healers, massage therapists, yacht brokers, media companies, interior designers, like opulent manifestation coaches, EFT tapping experts, fitness coaches, financial
Different,
guys. Like
different.
everybody is in a different niche and but they all have the same mindset. That's the thing. I don't care where you are financially, but you have to be a go-getter because I'm not going to be holding your hand and like babying you. Like you're an adult person. Like, yes, I'll be supportive, but I'm not building your business. I'm guiding you and giving you the steps, but I'm not doing the work for you, right? I will help you implement. I'll be hands-on in teaching you things, but I'm not going to do your marketing. I'm not going to follow up with clients. I'm not going to do your sales calls. I'm not going to, create your offer, except if you want to pay me the premium and then I'll do the work for you. But people who think and are go-getters and are going to get shit done, I basically call in people from different industries that are like me. And that's just how it works. But it's a different industry for almost every single individual.
That's great. And in my coaching part and consulting, I cannot do it for them because I'm my own. I run my Kiss and Grind business online brand. So
Yeah.
this is a way that and
I mean,
podcasting and
you
everything, and I
could,
cannot do it for
but
them. I can
they're
guide them
not
through the
paying you.
process in terms of my services, what I do, like as a digital marketing coach. So
Yeah. I mean, you could, but they're not paying you for that. And what serves them, right? I could do it for them. It would probably take me 10 minutes to do it. But like, if you're not paying me for that, then I'm absolutely not doing the work for you.
that's great, interesting. And what is one shift that turns overwhelmed founder into true empowered CEO?
The way you think, the way you think and the way you see your business. Because when you change, and this is literally what I help people do, is I change how you think as a business owner, as the CEO, to see that simplicity, ease, fun in your business is going to get you so much further. It's going to get you so much more results and money and clients and success than hustle. But you have to change the way you think, how you approach business. So with every single business owner, it's 5% strategy, which I help you implement. But if you don't have the mindset, the way you think, the way you are with like the energy, it's not going to work. And this is why it's not just mindset, but I actually have a EFT expert and a theta like doctorate from science, two experts that help people with subconscious to break those like beliefs and everything that's holding them back, besides just the strategy and mindset that I'm doing with them every single day. And I think that's so important because most business owners don't really do that, and they have success, but they could have so much more. And like they wouldn't be banging their head against the wall, even if they have it already. It would just be so much easier. And wouldn't that be so nice to just have it, easy?
Yes, Sarah, dear Sarah. So, what will be some kind of final message for our listeners or audience? We have such amazing show today and very organic. And thank you for sharing all answer answers on my questions. So, what will be before we ramp up our episode, our show today, to as a message for the audience, if they wanted to start business or if they are in business, but we talk a lot about it. So, just maybe.
Yeah. I would just want to leave you with the fact that you already know enough and you can help so many people with what you know. So if you're a beginner and you're thinking, oh, I need to start when? No. This is the time. Start now and just take messy action, because messy action is going to teach you way more than you staring at the wall trying to be perfect. And if you own a business already and you don't feel ease and it's still hard and you can't take a step back, send me a DM. Let me show you the plan and just show you how simple it can be. Like it really truly can be. And it can be done for you in your own unique way, not like how I do it.
And you can just do you have your website or just Instagram? Just you
Yes.
can just share with us. Maybe people like to hear to listen more than read
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely. No, you can find me on Instagram, which would be Sara, Saravez coach. So Sara Vez coach, or go on my website, which is also www.saravezcoach.com. Everything's on there on both. So you can
And your
go,
podcast as well.
my podcast is there, my Instagram is there, or if you go to Instagram, like on both ones, you can find everything. So yeah, you're gonna get to know me more on Instagram because it's my personality and story and my adventures since I was 13 and where I worked and all the proof that you need that I'm absolutely crazy with my mindset and it works every time and I get to teach you how to do the same.
Sarah, thank you so very much. It was pleasure talking to you. And for your listeners, don't forget, subscribe to the channel KSM Growing Business Online with Kristina. Don't forget to wait for new notification about new episode. Sarah, it was a really pleasure. And I'm so honored to have you today. You share such amazing, very unique story, very authentic, who you are, what you do. This is you. So we know that we are all authentic and every single person has a story. Don't forget it. For
Absolutely.
the new episode, just subscribe to the channel and don't forget to follow it. So Sarah, thanks again and see you very soon this year in new episode. I cannot
Absolutely.
wait to have you again on my podcast. Thank you so
Thank
very much. And
thank
bye
you
for
for having me.
now. Goodbye. Thank you.